Hey gang, Ronan here. As you can see, we've got Flagstaff2016, whom we know as Rocket, playing the Tier 8 Cleveland. Matchmaking is pretty decent here. It's a mix of 8, 7s, and 6s. There is a CV on either team. It never gets better than this for the Tier 8 Cleveland. He's facing off against a Tier 6 CV. And Cleveland, though, at least in my opinion, AA is not really a counter to aircraft, at least at this point in the CV rebork. But this is going to be as good as it gets for any for any ship. Any Tier 8 ship is to face off against Tier 6 planes. So what are the threats here? Well, we've got multiple battleships. You can see a couple Bismarck there. If angled up, Cleveland can bounce some shells there, but still, big shells, Colorado shells. Well, there's not going to be a whole lot you're going to be able to do. Colorado's dispersion is not too good, and it doesn't have a whole lot of guns, but if they do hit, they're going to do some damage. Queen Elizabeth, that's more than likely going to be an HE spamming ship. The Royal Navy battleships known for their HE. Not to say that their AP cannot do damage, because it certainly can in the right situation. And then you've got Fuso, which is also very often used as an HE spammer. Baltimore with the very heavy, large caliber US cruiser line AP shells. Edinburgh, who can spam the Royal Navy AP shells, has smoke, has torpedoes. New Orleans, again, US heavy AP. Atlanta, HE spammer. Kagero, long range, very hard hitting torpedoes. The detection range on Kagero Nakatsuki torps, not great, but generally speaking, going to be enough if somebody is not vigilant about watching the lanes. And by that I mean areas where an enemy DD might throw torpedoes to try and catch someone traversing. Kagero foolishly pushes up very close, and the Udachi is right there. Now, this is not going to end well for Udachi, obviously. That's a very tough moment for the Udachi. I don't know what he was thinking. They both made the same, to my mind, foolish mistake of running right up to the corner. But the Kagero had a little bit better angle, was able to get his torpedoes off fast, and that was the end of the Udachi. Not always, but very often when I see someone playing a premium ship like that who makes what I consider kind of a rookie mistake, I kind of wonder, how long have they had the ship? Did they buy it, get excited, hey, this is going to be fun, I got a premium destroyer, and then go out and get blapped in the first 3 minutes. But the enemy DDs are really banged up. Kagero's almost dead, of course, and meanwhile, Akatsuki there in the center, he's been pummeled. You can see the Kagero torps are moving in, and the friendly Benson is moving out there to screen. Okay, so what do I mean by screen? Well, he's looking for the enemy Kagero, which you can see is now lit up. And he's also out there, because he's so much more maneuverable, he's able to spot torpedoes and have a much better chance of avoiding them. Benson just shoots the Kagero down, and that ends that threat. So all that's left in the way of torpedo threat from the enemy team is the Akatsuki. Baltimore trying to put some shells on our hero here. I think I probably would have turned around at this point. Rocket is, well, he's starting to turn around now. The Atlanta is pushing in close. You can see the enemy of the Atlanta there in Echo 5. He's pushing in really close. I don't expect the enemy Atlanta is going to live too long here. Fuso, our friendly Fuso at Charlie 5. Yeah, he's not able to get him, but that's not going to be the case forever. Fuso will be able to get his guns on him. King George will get his guns on him. I think that Atlanta's in big trouble. Just moved up way to the guy. There he goes. Turpit's got him. Now you'll see Rocket is really keeping his distance here. I don't know that he has to be this far away, but it's a good idea in U.S. light cruiser to avoid getting close enough to get smacked around. But the Bismarck is focused on the Massachusetts. Now, look at the little green dot that's above the Bismarck there. If you're using the mod station and you've got this particular mod active, it'll tell you what the enemy ship is doing, if he's moving forward, if he's moving backward, or if he's stopped. And making use of that, Rocket would have been landing a lot more shells here, I think. So the yellow indicates that that ship is coming to a stop. So just put the shells right on target. It's probably going to be out ahead of him. And Rocket he's fallen back so far now that he doesn't have a target to shoot at. He does manage to get a fire started. If Bismarck has repaired, he'll probably be unable to stop that for a while. And, you know, even if he has a repair, he may just let it burn because HE damage from fires is repairable. And he may opt to, he may opt to let it burn so that he has a repair in case he eats a torpedo from the Benson, which he knows is there. Now you may be wondering, why isn't Benson moving outside trying to get better angle? Well, there is still the CV in the game, and even if the CV doesn't do any damage to the Benson, if he spots him, Bismarck's secondaries and the Edinburgh that's out there, with the very, very few hit points that the Benson has left, his health is just almost non-existent. One good shot, he's got 302 now, one good shot and he's out of the game, back into port. So he just wants to stay out of sight. Rocket now just kind of running ahead of the enemy push, trying to get HE going to get some fires started. Alright, if you're keeping score, the good guys are down, what, 15 points. And that's really just due to the fact that they've lost a battleship. Battleships provide a little bit more in terms of points when they're sunk than cruisers. The good guys have sunk a cruiser, a battleship, and a destroyer. The bad guys have sunk that. The good guys have sunk 2 cruisers and a destroyer, and thus the 15-point disparity on the scoreboard. Enemy Queen Elizabeth is moving center. He's going to have help, I presume, from the Prinz Eitel Friedrich. Tallinn is positioned to be able to help on either flank. He's got to watch the Bismarck that is moving center. And Rocket's moved so far away at this point, he can't, well, he couldn't spot the Bismarck anymore. Well, I guess that's because the Bismarck went behind the island. And the Bismarck gets a shot on Tallinn, who backed up a little too much and was detected, of course, by aircraft. Prinz Eitel Friedrich is, well, he's there alone now. Rocket's still got 21,000 hit points. He's got to be careful here because he's got Edinburgh and Baltimore on this flank, and Fuzo's about to come around the island. Well, he may not be moving at all, but well, I guess he is. So this flank is about to get a push. Rocket he's keeping a pretty flat profile to these guys. While he's not spotted, there's no harm in that, but now that he is, he's going to have to angle. Edinburgh can do a lot of damage in a hurry. Looks like the enemy team is still focusing on the Prinz Eitel Friedrich, but at least one ship is targeting Rocket. And he's got Queen Elizabeth on this flank firing AP at him now, so he's going to have to bring the nose around even more to port. Queen Elizabeth and Bismarck firing on him. Good guys are, in terms of positioning, good guys are in trouble. Rocket's having a hard time, I guess, gauging the movement of the enemy ship. You can see he's accelerating. You can see the little green dot over his ship. Not using the mod station, you really should be. There's just so many neat tools. Not only aesthetics, but actual tools that are going to help you play more effectively. Benson and Prince Preacher go down. This is turning ugly for the good guys, who are now down 6 ships to the enemy's 4 ships. Rocket does have a fire going. He's going to have to stay angled. You can see the friendly CV is trying to finish up the Akatsuki out there at Charlie 6. Rocket's trying to angle as well as he can against a pretty wide slew of ships there between the Bismarck, Edinburgh, Baltimore, and now Fuso. Fuso is around the corner for sure. I'm certain of that. Bismarck has come to a stop. I'd probably be aiming more at the tail end of that ship now, trying to get another fire started. He is landing some shells. Here comes some AP from the Bismarck. Rocket is angling out, trying to narrow his profile and avoid eating too much damage here. It takes a little bit of chip damage while it continues to put AG on target, trying to get fires on that Bismarck. There's one. Bismarck puts it out immediately. So we got about a 10 count and then another fire that might burn for quite some time. So beginning with that volley, I think there's an opportunity for some permafire. No. Rocket's run himself out of range again. So maybe he's planning to reposition. Either way, he is still targeted. Down goes the enemy Queen Elizabeth. The friendly Fuso has seen to that. Good job, buddy. Lead 311. And now both teams with 6 ships remaining. Rocket has landed 146 shells on target in the roughly 12 minutes we've seen him playing, and started 4 fires, almost 62,000 damage. 766,000 potential damage means a lot of shells have come his way, and he's managed to avoid the majority of that damage. Rocket repositioning to be able to reset the camp. Enemy Baltimore almost dead. Now I'm guessing here that the Ranger will be focusing on these ships that are close, which will allow Rocket an opportunity to get some shells on them as they push into the camp and keep it reset. The challenge is going to be not getting focused down in a hurry. Bismarck has evidently decided to stop short of the cap, which more than likely means that the enemy destroyer is now in the cap. Now, Rocket does have radar, so I imagine the instant Rocket is detected, he will hit the radar, continue pushing ahead, get his gun swung around. Oh, look at that, it's the Edinburgh. Edinburgh's sitting in the cap. Good guys lose the York to the enemy Bismarck just as that Bismarck falls to some shots from the Tirpitz. Rocket's trying to get shots on the Baltimore to finish him off. Too big a lead there. Bring it back to port. Alright, so those are probably going to run to the left side of where the ship is. Those might hit. Meanwhile, taking some significant damage, he finishes off the Baltimore. Nice shot. And he's got broadside on the Edinburgh. I might switch to AP here and just blind fire using the indicator on your minimap.
Anti-aircraft gun crews are on full alert.
So if you're unaware, this would be a great opportunity to blind fire. You can see on the minimap there's a straight line coming from behind the indicator where Rocket's ship is at. That's going to tell you more or less where your shells are going to drop. I think there I would have switched immediately to AP and used that little X that you see there, and I would have just put it right on top of the Edinburgh. It looks like that's what Rocket's trying to do now. He's got AG loaded, so it's questionable how much damage he's going to do. But blind firing, see at this point, unless there's another ship close, I would probably be pushing in a little bit here and raining shells into that smoke, blind fire, because if you hit him at all, you're going to reset the cap. And because the Edinburgh is in that smoke, he's not going to be able to see you. So why not be blind firing here? Rocket's on his own because the friendly Ranger is, to my mind, crazily trying to take out the enemy CV, which is darn near impossible these days. Fires burn for what, 5 seconds? Torpedo floods for 5 seconds. CVs are just I know there might be some comments to the contrary down there, but it's just ridiculous in my opinion. Rocket's angled up fairly well here. If he stays angled, he can probably avoid most of the damage from the Edinburgh. Used his radar too soon here. You want to be within range 10. And he's going to be able to get a chance to reset. Should be running AP shells here, not AG. He would be shredding this Edinburgh with this Edinburgh running broadside to him. You can see the number of shells the Edinburgh is putting out, and because Rocket is sticking with AG, the Edinburgh is sinking fine. You want to do that? I'll just sit here broadside and get all my guns on you. If Rocket were to switch to AP and fire our midships there, he could finish that Edinburgh in 2 or 3 volleys, I think. But he's stubbornly sticking with HE, and I think it's going to cost him. I expect Rocket's probably going to lose this engagement here in another few volleys. Edinburgh's probably going to take him down. Yeah. Well, you know, this game highlights the importance of a couple things. One, shell choice, so important. AP there would have made so much difference. It would have done enough damage to either kill that Edinburgh or force the Edinburgh player to angle up and only use his front guns. Also, the importance of staying at a range of big guns when you're running a light cruiser. The importance of securing a cap against enemy ships being in the cap, which Rocket did a great job of. He recognized the threat and he moved in order to try and keep resetting the cap and buy his team some time. Unfortunately, his team has 3 ships in the enemy cap who are really kind of unable to do a whole heck of a lot to help at this point. But still anybody's game. Good guys might just cap them out. With 3 ships in there, they're going to cap a lot faster than the Edinburgh is going to be capping. So this may end up being a win for the good guys. Rocket, great game. Thanks a lot for sharing the file with me. I appreciate it. I mean, you can see everybody. 181 shells on target, 6 fires, 1 kill, 60 caps, 8 planes shot down. Destroyed a system somewhere along the way. Tanked 1.3 or over 1.3 million potential damage. Even got a little spotting damage in there for his team. Good game. And it looks like you're going to win. See you next time.